by alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's Brandon by taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Friend from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
Kick the tires and light the fires. This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City SC. As always, I am Nate, joined by my superstar co-host, Minneapolis City Sporting Director, John Bisworm. John, I'm going to tell you, man, did you know there are now 2 soccer players on the show?
Didn't until today when a little birdie told me that somebody suited up in the Roseville over 65 league.
over 35 league. Thank you very much.
When you texted me that. But
yeah, man, I was super excited. Well, you know, I'm more of a soccer mind and less of a soccer body. But I think you know, all those years coaching the boy and sitting on the sidelines, sitting in the stands and in the booth for Minneapolis City playing FIFA, it gives you a good understanding of the game. So I figured I'd try to hit the field, see what I can do.
So I have so many questions.
Yeah.
First off, what kind of footwear are we dealing with? Me being, you know, a cleat guy, what would you go with?
So I've got Adidas. I can't tell you exactly what they are off the top of my head. They're black. They've got an orange stripe down the middle. Okay. They're a few years old.
So
they're a few years old, but they're working all right. You got
good tires on the car. That's good.
I think so. You know, my feet are unfortunately a little wide for soccer shoes, but they fit and everything works out.
You know, if this turns into quite the future vocation for you, I have some suggestions on proper footwear that you might be interested in. But we can talk about that off air. Second question is, are you a screamer? Like, are you a blabbermouth on the field? Are you just constantly talking through the game? That's what I figured.
Yes. Yeah. So when I started, first game, we played 3 games. In the first game I started, I figured the safe spot is you throw me at defense because we play a 3-person back line. So if I'm outside, one of the outside backs, I'll be okay. I don't have to, I can run a little bit up and down the field, but mostly I just got to keep the field in front of me. Right. And, every mistake, it's like, God, scream. I don't know who I'm screaming to. I guess myself.
The soccer gods.
But then over the course of the last 3 weeks, I've kind of moved forward to say, as we sub in and out, last week I dabbled in the striker role, and I really dug it. Like, I love dancing on the back line and trying to mess with people, especially when you consider that everyone else has the same idea that I did. Like, I'm kind of slow and bad at soccer, so maybe I should play defense. so it's really good to mess with people that are also slow and bad at soccer. And last game, John, I'll tell you what, I was taking a page of the Olivers. I was wagging my finger at the ref, getting called offside, and just giving some heat to the linesman. Charging at the keeper when he's screaming keep, and I'm going to hop him. That was well,
okay. So my last question is then, do we see a potential Stegman's appearance in your future? I mean,
oh yeah. If you need an old ass Sergio Aguero, I'm the guy.
I mean,
someone that's going to just hang out at the bar after at the midfield. Yeah, just not interested in playing defense and just try to make some runs. But I did score my first goal, John. 3 games in, nice. I scored a goal. But I also sprained my ankle
in the over 65 league.
Yeah, yeah. I tried to make a pass, did a little outside the foot touch into an inside into a little toe tap to get it around a defender, and I just could not get my
Been
foot up
there.
in time. Yeah, and
Um,
so there it went. So I'm going to be out for a couple weeks, but once I'm back, we'll be in the playoffs, and I'll give you
nice. Well, I
some
think the
updates.
world will be waiting with bated breath to find out how.
If you're a little too old for Stegman's, and maybe Dan's getting too old for Stegman's, I might
Well,
definitely
no,
be
I
too
mean
old for Stegman's. But at
we
least
have
the Rose.
our lowest tier segments team. I played on it over the winter. There's some other folks on that team that you might know, like Brian Schreier's on that team, Sarah's husband, and Nate Zell, who's one of the leaders of the leader of the Citizens. Yeah, and
The
there's a couple
Citizens?
other guys on there. I'm yeah,
Is that where
Bryn
Bryn plays
Shanks,
too?
our resident content curator,
Shit.
also plays on it. So I mean, it's a little bit slower of a pace, but I think you'd fit in well with the guys. So maybe we'll talk about it.
That would make my wife so nervous.
And that's why we do it, right?
But I'll tell you what, John, I'm 100%. What did we say? What were we saying today? Like, yeah, I got a fifth gear soccer mind,
Yep,
but a second gear
go.
soccer body.
All right. Well, I mean,
That's all
like
right.
I said, so many questions. I have probably plenty more, but we can always talk about those later. But big show tonight, full of big time baller status moves. First, we teased last week that we had some new hotness brewing on Twitch. So Nate will get into all of what is twitching. And then the playoff results are in, Nate. Spoiler alert. We had a spoiler. So we'll talk a little bit about the semifinal round. And then finally, we welcome City's iconic goalkeeper, number one, Mr. Matt Elder, back to the show. And like I told you when I was doing my show notes, I spun up episode 5 with what's that?
Inspo? Inspiration?
Yeah, I wanted to get and you'll hear me, talk about it with him in a little bit here. I wanted to remember where he went to high school. So I knew he had talked about his soccer background. So I was like, oh yeah, I can just listen to that. And then I caught myself listening to the whole show and not taking notes. So but we're gonna have Matt Elder on. So it's kind of a big deal. So let's get wheeling here. Let's talk a little Fut City.
That's right. We got big news for FIFA lovers, John, especially if you love FIFA Ultimate Team. So earlier this summer, listeners might remember that we got a taste of the FIFA life when we followed Jonah Garcia to the lower league E-Cup finals.
All the meta.
And you and I announced all those games on Twitch Live, and it was in our minds kind of a big hit. And during that time, I got to talk to Jonah a little bit about his approach to playing Ultimate Team. There was, we learned that we've got 2 City players really who are high level competitors, both Jonah Garcia and Max Stigward. And I had such a great time talking to him about Ultimate Team that I'm really happy to announce Fut City, FUT, a new show that is launching this Thursday over on Minneapolis City's Twitch. So you're going to join me. You're going to join who I'm just your average FIFA schlub, by the way. I'm not pretending to be at these guys' level. But you're going to join me, and we're going to follow Jonah, and we're going to follow Max, and we're going to watch them build their Ultimate Team squad from day one, which was technically last Wednesday. They've got all sorts of strategy involved and a whole approach to how this kind of preseason has gone up until release day, which was technically tonight. We're going to talk everything about from foot basics, squad building strategy, some cheap beasts that you might be able to find, and of course, the almighty meta, John. So please, everyone, join us this Thursday. You got to head over to twitch.tv/MPLSCitySC and follow and subscribe, and you're going to get notified every week when we go live with their progress, because really it's a grind, man, and it's hard for people to really wrap your head around how to approach playing this game, because it can be so competitive and so not fun if you just dive in and decide to put your beginner squad up against the masses on the internet.
So what time is it on Thursday Central?
Great question. I'm not sure we've decided that yet, but I'm going to say around the 8 o'clock hour.
I will be tuning in. I know I said I wasn't going to do it, Nate, but I did pull the trigger today, and I did purchase FIFA. You know me though. I'm here for the mini games, and I'm here to do career mode and bring my mighty Red Devils of FC Kaiserslautern back up to European dominance. So I'll leave the FUT stuff to you guys. But I'll definitely be tuning in, probably being a bastard in the Twitch chat stream. What?
Yeah, Peacock Facts will
Peacock
work. The
Facts.
command will work.
I'm sure maybe I'll pick another animal, maybe a marsupial this time. That we get some facts on. But yeah, exciting stuff. I think this is a great idea. I think it helps us build off of the mojo we had going on Twitch for a little while there in the beginning of COVID. So super awesome to see you guys do this, and clearly any help that I can provide, I will provide it. But I'm going to sit back like the rest of us and take notes. Yeah,
I got you on speed dial.
you know how to get a hold of me. So now on to actual soccer side of things, the Ben Wexler Brotherhood Cup playoffs. We are talking about playoffs. Ben Wexler Cup is come to a full fever pitch because it is playoff time. And for those of you who may not have been following along, you can head over to mplscitysc.com/7v7-league, or it's in the main navigation. Click on there. You can learn all about the league. But at this point, it's basically too late. So you missed the bus, people. Better luck next time. But we had playoff soccer, and the atmosphere was very much playoff, Nate. You had some obligations, as we know, with a young child at home. But I was up there. Are you going to make it up this week?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I hate to miss it.
It's hard to miss the final.
But that's
it really is. But we saw the first match starting off with the second seed versus the third seed. So the second seed was the Paisley Park 99ers, and the third seed was the second seed was Morstay and the One-Timers, and the third seed was the Paisley Park 99ers. So it ended in a 2-2 draw and then went to penalty kicks. It started off 1-0 to the One-Timers at the half on the back of a Will Kidd goal. They struck again minutes into the second half after the 1-0 lead, and probably felt like they were cruising after club FUT legend Jonah Garcia nodded home the final goal, making them on the back of the second dime on 2-assist night for Charlie Adams. But then, Nate, here come the 99ers. They came storming back on a goal from Midu via a really nice pass from Gatto. Then Zuhair Al-Abbasi, with less than 5 minutes left to go in the game, sends it to shootouts by leveling the score 2-0. So if you were picking up what I was putting down there with some of these names, you're looking at the guys who are club staples, who, we have some new guys in, some younger guys in, trialists, whatnot. But when we talk about the second game, the core staples were the guys that started to really shine during playoff time. We did see some hot sauce was poured onto the game as Tyler Oliver and Josue got into a rather, I guess you could say, spirited argument over handbags, and that led to both of them getting ejected from the contest. So there was a little bit of heat turned up in the hyper competitive bubble we've created, which you don't really want to see, but it happens. So we don't have a red card rule. So the Josue will be available for the final, and Tyler will be available for the consolation game. But what ended up happening was the contest finished 5-4 in 6 rounds of kicks to the second seed, Morstay and the One-Timers. So unfortunately, fortunately I was watching the other game, but I was checking on that one. I didn't get to see a ton of it, but I could hear it going on behind me, and it was the pressure cooker was bubbling over. It was getting pretty heated, but it was pretty back and forth. 4 goals. We're typically used to seeing 7, 8, 11 goals scored in these games, but 2-2, and then going right to penalties, and then 6 rounds of them. I believe Scotty Heinen, who's a trialist from Gustavus, I believe he nodded home the final penalty kick for the one-timers.
Wow. I mean, of either of the games that were taking place last week, I thought this probably would have been the one that could have gone either way. Second seed versus third seed, really competitive all the way through 8 leading up to this. And we had kind of talked to both the Olivers a few weeks ago where they each had a plan. They each had a way to get to the top seed. Like the road was open for both. So it's not like the Turtles where we kind of had counted them out. Like either of the three other teams could have easily been second seed, first seed, right? It's just the way the cookie crumbles over the course of this little short season. But dang, man, one game going to penalties is stressful enough.
Yes. So
but
match 2
games,
was
John.
the fourth seeded winless tackled by Turtles taking on the top seed, the Bob Dillionaires. And we've already mentioned it that there was an upset. So I'm not going to beat around the bush here. It was the redemption tour for Tackled by Turtles. We said last week that the pieces were there, and when we talked to Matt Elder, who's the goalkeeper on the team, he'll talk a little bit about it as well. They just needed to string together some consistency. And you could kind of see it happening over a few weeks, but they did finally put it all together. And, you joked that if there was ever a week for it all to click, this is it. And jokes on everyone because they did it. But here's how the game went. It started off not great for Tackled by Turtles because Cole Schwartz was unavailable for the match for undisclosed reasons. So if things could not have gone any worse for them to start the game, for the previously Minneapolis Turtles, one of the league's top scorers was just not there. So that sucks, right?
And he was your guy. He's the guy that you always said, like, this is where all the goals are coming from.
He scored 12 of them in 6 weeks. So it's a lot of goals. Or 5 weeks, excuse me. Yeah, 5 because he was out the 6th week. But for the Dillionaires, they're without Franco Patel and Abdallah Ba, which came back to get them that number 1 seed. And to the silent observer, Nate, maybe a stroke of some rest and overlooking the Turtles and going and thinking that they already had a place in the final. So, anyways, back to the match. So that was just the start of the match. Once it got started, things got worse for the Turtles right away. And Matt talks a little bit about it in a bit here, but Matt Murakami ended up in the first 15 minutes of the game sending an own goal in on just a weird kind of ball that came in, and they were down 1-0 on an own goal. And then you're thinking like, oh, here it is again. Then it followed up that with a late Justin Oliver first half goal that made it 2-0. And much like the match, going into the match, it was like, oh man, it's going to happen again for these guys. Even though they were playing good soccer, and like we said, it was clicking, but to go down 2-0 at halftime, it was like, what the hell, like not again. Like, so after some collecting of thoughts and a little bit of coaching, they got some advice from some folks. I won't name any names. They turned up the heat, Nate. So the average supporter might think, 2 down at the half spelled the end for the Turtles, but not this time. Our guest tonight, Matt Elder, turned up the heat, just keeping his guys in the game, thwarting a ton of Billionaires' chances. Then you saw right in the beginning of the second half, Bavarian transfer Dom Mesjin did some nifty stuff along the end line, beating 3 players and then finding a streaking Mark Bokin back across the net. And now we got some life, Nate. It's 2-1. The Dillionaires were kind of on the back foot. The Turtles were taking their direction well that was given to them. They were turning up the heat. They were organized. They were pressing when they needed to press. And you saw it. The tide had definitely changed after that goal went in. Some said that it went over the end line before the ball was slotted back, but that's how soccer works. Sometimes the refs don't get it. So it went in, and we're at 2-1. With time running out, the Dillionaires got pressed really hard by the Turtles, and the back line coughed up a heavy touch by Abdi Khadi, which Mark Bokeen, being as quick as he has, pounced on it, taking like a real silky first touch to set up his left foot, and then bangs in the tying goal. And like, you don't hear a ton of cheering in a lot of these games, but like when that goal went in, like everyone was like, all right, like we got a game here. Like it just felt like it felt like nothing we've had so far in the playoffs. At that point, Nate, the Dillionaires totally fell apart. They were shorthanded going in. I mean, they had enough guys to play, but they didn't have a lot of their, what you might consider their stars, or some supporting characters, but they had their typical quality players. And the Turtles were pressing hard. Frustration started to settle in. A lot of guys were, were yelling at each other. The infighting had happened for the Dillionaires, and that's what you want if you're a Turtle. So then, I mean, literally, that's what you want.
That's what you want.
Right before the end, though, Matt Elder made an absolute gem of a save. And do you remember the game in year one against Madison where a shot came in, like a hard waist high shot came in, and Matt was going the wrong direction, but he was able to reach out and save it off the line? He made almost the identical save, where a shot came from Stigward, and it went through traffic, and someone got a piece of it and redirected it, and it was going in, and Matt just stopped in his tracks, redirected his momentum, and pushed it wide, and then game over into penalties. So we saw the penalties go 5-3 to the Turtles, who tucked home all 5 of their shots, with Justin Oliver completely missing the entire frame, going way over, and way over the top. And then to top it off, Abdi Khadi, who got nicked for the second goal for the Turtles to bring it level in the run of play, belted the crossbar, and Cinderella had found her slipper, Nate.
Abdi. Unbelievable, John. And I think, like we said, like if they just got it, if they had it together, they had the defensive quality, once they found their, once they were able to gel as a core, once everything started clicking, we thought this is a team that can score some goals. But this game didn't even need goals scored. 2-2, man. You get Mark Bokeen, who, to be honest, I mean, you've been talking him up for quite a bit of the season, and then he really didn't. He was either quiet or didn't even show up over this little bit of a fall we've had. So it's nice to see him basically put 2 in, right, to get his team into PKs where Turtles did all the work and the Dillionaires fell on their face.
Kicker, just in case. So they kind of staggered their guys out too, and they gave some of their unproven guys a chance to step up and take a kick. Esteban Badillo slotted one home. Dom made his. Steve made his. So I mean, it was good to see, and both games, both going into penalties at the same time. You're hearing cheers from one field. You're hearing swear words from the other. It was good. It was good. So
amazing.
Hats off to the Turtles.
Well, let's get to the updated stats, John, because that, a couple low-scoring games, not going to have a lot of effect on the Golden Boot race. We still have Justin Oliver at number 1. Yeah, 13 goals. He must have only scored 1 this week.
Oh, and for a quick caveat, the stats did not carry over to penalties. So saves and goals did not count. So, his shot still hasn't landed yet. So it didn't matter. But anyways, he did slot one home to bring himself to 13.
So Cole Schwartz is not going to stress about that, even though he didn't show up. He's in second place with 12 goals. He could have comfortably found himself in the lead if he had showed up and played. Third and fourth place, Mito and Will Kidd, both with 8. So each team having a representative in the Golden Boot race leading into this last game. We're putting top 4 because you just never know. how these games are going to go, and 5 goals out of someone is
No, it's not.
not beyond the pale. But onto assists. Your guy Matt Gibbons, just silky smooth, 13 assists for the one-timers. So amazing. And then here's how you know the 99ers should have been favored, and really can't believe they haven't got through. Tyler Oliver, Mito Yusuf, and El Gato
I think it's
Javier
just
Juarez.
I think it's just Gato, not Ellen. There's
All
an L
in
front
the
of it, but I
assist.
like it.
Maybe. Seems like it. Seems like it would work. Anyway, all on the assist board. 10 assists from Tyler and 8 from Mito and Gato each. That's a lot of assists coming from the 99ers.
Well, Tyler did have a
midfielders and forwards. So
7-assist
they move
night,
the ball.
So
They move the ball really well. Yeah. Now onto the goalkeepers. Mitch Wolf still top of the heap. We talked to him last week for the Bob Dillionaires. 67 saves on this small season over the course of his games. And Troy Luigi right behind him with 65 saves. The problem is Troy's got 31 goals against, where Mitch Wolf has 19. Devin has 50 saves from the one-timers, and Matt Elder coming in late for the last couple games of the season, already with 33 saves and 23 goals against. Not a great ratio, but that team had some struggles.
Absolutely.
But now
So player of the week, Nate.
Yeah, John, who was the player of the week? Because you got to. There's so many good narratives.
You could have given it to Mark Bokeen, but in our 3rd week in a row, it is where another goalkeeper has finally stolen the show again. This week, it is none other than our legendary number 1, Matt Elder, who we'll speak to in moments. Matt put the Turtles on, the number 4 seed, who had not been close to sniffing a win all fall, on his back with 2 massive saves that helped the team stay in it in the contest, and the one that I mentioned at the death. And then ultimately, as we noted, winning in penalty kicks. So, Nate, after we saw a run of field players in the beginning and a lot of goals scored, excuse me, including that 7-goal performance by Justin Oliver, ever since then, it's been the netminders who have taken center stage. Any thoughts on why you think that might be?
Yeah, the league tightened up, I think. Once they saw each other for the first time, I think it was a lot of free-flowing soccer. I think it's like the NBA All-Star game. You know what I'm saying, John? Like, it's just all about the offense at first, and eventually, I think you figure if those games keep going, people just stop. Like, scoring it's not super fun to just see who can score the most. You got to actually play a full game of soccer. So it sounds like teams got organized defensively. Goalkeepers got serious about their job, and here we are. All 3 goalkeepers given MVP in weeks. What the hell word? Successive week? That's not a word.
Consecutive.
Successive weeks. Thank you. Consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I was combining those two. Oh.
It sounds like
let's get it.
Your mind's on foot right now, not on this show.
Exactly. John, let's get to the Pick'em leaders, because Pick'em is still going on. We have one more week in the Pick'em League to award a 2021 membership for Minneapolis City to the top player. You are on a tear. Somehow you've taken the most points again this week with 14. How does that add up?
I picked the Turtles, so I got.
How?
Yes, I did. I picked
the Turtles,
and then due to
pure
a
insanity.
Clerical error, we were not able to write in other for the MVP. So anyone, if you're listening anywhere and you wrote down other last week, you got 10 points.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Matt Elder was.
So that's why.
Yep.
I was hot on your heels with 12 points.
Hand to God, it's for MVP. Because I thought that he was going to need to, to turn it into Matt Elder of old to carry that team. But yeah, so I think there were 4 people who got 3 that got
3, just 3 of us. Yep. So I was hot on your heels with 12 points, along with Rob Leibhurt's murder sleeves, and there were a lot of 2-point finishers. You're probably all going to get a call or an email from Sarah to get there on Wednesday night. Congrats to this week's top pickers, John, you, me, Rob. You should have already been contacted by Sarah about those spots you earned to watch live next week. And if you haven't, stay tuned because that's coming. But for the rest of us, we got 1 week left to complete the comeback. I think John, you are far and away the points leader. I think it's impossible to catch you at this point. But you have said it, and I have said it, that if we win, obviously I'm not going to take the 2021 membership. I'm already so involved with the club.
Yeah, me too.
That seems silly. So both of us are pretty much out of the running. So really it is up to the tight competition for what is now second, third, fourth place.
Well, Nate,
who's gonna make the right picks leading into this championship week?
I mean, that's gonna happen. I'm taking the prize.
Well, you take the title, you just don't take the prize. You just let the prize slide on down.
Well, no,
to
I'm going to
to
do
the next
I mentioned
deserving
last
gentleman.
week, I'm going to actually auction mine off for the Futures Program Scholarship Fund. How's that rude?
Oh, rude.
That's like the nicest thing, especially because I'm reading.
Nice, actually.
I'm like looking through the scholarship applications from some of these futures players that have signed up for the trials, and I'm like I'm reading all these stories about kids not being able to afford to play club soccer, but they feel like they have the talent. And I was like, I gotta win this I gotta win those for the little guy. I gotta help a kid out. I gotta help a kid get high level soccer.
Oh. Well, now I don't feel so bad about getting.
It's all going to go to a good cause. I promise. There have been many guests who have graced this show, but there are none that have made more career appearances on this show, which for 158 episodes is pretty impressive. You have to go all the way back to episode 5, where our guest today made his first appearance. But there have been many more since. Please welcome Future Club legend, City Number 1, Mr. Matt Elder. Matt, welcome back, pal. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm good. 153
it's great to be back.
Episodes to be
seems
exact.
like forever ago. I was on here for the first time.
That was a long time. We remember, John, we were like in the Riley Hayes boardroom.
It's good math.
Hang out, and people randomly pop by. Didn't someone just come by from Toledo for no reason?
Yeah, he wanted to pick up a scarf he bought and was just there,
checking out the recording of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat.
Matt, it's been a long ass year, dude. What have you been up to?
Oh, just trying to pass time. You're right. It's been a long year, but good summer, and just, I don't know, enjoyed playing soccer, and obviously a little different than what we wanted.
It's got to feel
summer,
good to
but,
be able to jump back in and at least get a little bit of action.
Good summer
after all the uncertainty of the spring.
Yeah, I think it's pretty unique that with everything going on, City was still able to, form a competitive environment for us to play in.
So you talking about the 77 season, I guess, this environment that City has created, due to some availability and maybe some injury concerns, it took you a few weeks to really get into it, leaving Hodeman to man the net for your team. But it took you a while to really arrive into the 7v7 season. What was it like getting up to speed, first of all, and how does it feel for everything to be clicking, it looks like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little different than really what I personally have been used to, having to deal with an injury for 3 weeks that was just kind of nagging, and then just getting into a 7v7 environment where you mix City guys that you're used to playing with, but then you have trialists, and then you have under 23 guys. And so it definitely took a little while to gel, and our team had some injuries too. So it seemed like every week, every Wednesday, we were rolling out a new, group of 7 or 8 guys that
what was your
had to play.
approach? What
So
was the
it
Turtles'
did take some
approach
time.
to this big game? We find out that you guys are basically haven't won at all throughout the season, and John and I were talking last week, like, well, all the pieces are there, everything's together. If they can only gel, they might be able to pull something off. And you did. Did you just kind of put it all out there, nothing to lose? Let's just try to steal it.
Yeah, well, I don't think we did anything different, last week in the semis than we did the first 8 weeks. It just, we had Miles who was healthy, which helps a lot, because he was supposed to kind of anchor our back line. And then you have Ian and Dom, this new ad that finally, I think that was their third week playing together, where they started really just clicking and owning the midfield. And then you just have kind of supporting pieces around it that.
So I mean, I was there, Matt, and I was totally pulling for you guys.
Take care of
like the
business
whole
when it
time, I was
mattered.
like, "Let's go, upset city." How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you guys, like, you took quite a few lumps, and you say you didn't really do a ton different, but I would kind of lean a little bit on the contrary, that you guys kind of put it all together in like a winner go home moment. I mean, it was a big one. Did it feel good to finally throw the trash talk back onto the Olivers?
Yeah, it did. I mean, I don't like losing. And for 8 weeks, literally 8 weeks, Wednesday nights really sucked. So to finally be able to get a W, and
you
went
down to
most,
penalty kicks. I mean, it was a back and forth game. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show that you give up just 2 total pants down goals right away. Not you in particular, but your team. And then it's 2-0 at half, and then to come out immediately and score right away in the second half. Was there a sense on the field that the tide had turned? Or were you guys just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because it had dropped for 8 consecutive weeks?
Yeah, I think everyone had a little better attitude this week just about what was going on. I mean, I think if you look at the 2 goals we conceded in the first half, one was off of a corner that bounced around and kind of tucked into side netting, where everybody was like, okay, this feels like the last 8 weeks, but we're playing pretty well. And then the other one, good passing play, and it kind of squeaks through 2 defenders and gets through Miles' legs to the far post. And again, like, not much you can do about it. But I think everyone felt that we had the run of play, we had the better chances. We were getting opportunities to put the ball in the net, just hadn't yet. So I think everybody kind of felt like it was coming. And then, you get one right away off the bat. And that it kind of just allowed us to go, pedal to the metal and find the equalizer, and then kind of stay on the offensive instead of defensive, like we.
So
had
you
been
were,
for
you guys went to penalties. Mark Bokeen ended up getting a brace to pull you guys level in the second half. The penalties are historically, from a city perspective, been a bright spot for you. Seeing you've made quite a few saves in the past for us. Was there anything that was telling as you were staying on the end line that this was going to go in your guys' favor?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, I mean, I love penalties. Every time I get out, you get 5 opportunities. If you make one, the chances are you're gonna win the game or win the shootout. So yeah, I mean, I love going to penalties. Once we got there, I kind of felt like we already had it won.
Spoken like a true penalty kick shot stopper.
Yep, it's a guy who lives for the high tension situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, so far, what's been the most fun thing about these intra-squad games? I think, like you said, it was something that you've never experienced before, something that City's never done, playing with a lot of guys, a lot of kids that you've never really played with. How's your experience been, and what have you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just in a world that's been so unknown over the last 4 months, and part one being able to play with a group of guys you've played with for the last 3, 4, 5 years, however long it may be, but then get a influx of new college talent, high school talent that's looking to play at the next level, and then take it to another level and compete. And it really is competing, because there are stats, there are lead goal scorers, lead assist getters, there are refs showing up every Wednesday night. So in a world where there's really no competition across any level of sports, that this is about as good as you could get.
Well, I don't know, man. The Roseville 35 plus co-ed league is alive and kicking. I'll tell you what.
Sign me up in like 7 years.
So we asked all of our guests that have come on this fall, if you could go back to Matt Elder at Armstrong High School, what do you think this model that we've created, with the supplemental training on one day and then the 7v7 on another day, that we're going to be rolling out in our futures concept, as this is really the proof of that concept that you guys are going through now. What do you think this model does to benefit a 16 to 20-year-old? And how would it have maybe benefited you, if you had this environment when you were coming out of Armstrong?
Yeah, I think it creates a eyes wide open kind of experience where, you look at a lot of the, call it, what is our youngest guy, 16, 17 up to like 19 before, you're getting into college. And anybody out of high school that can play at the next level is kind of the best player at that school, or, at that club, or in the district, or whatever. I mean, if you're all district, you're a really good player and you're going to be a good college player. But like the second you come to either the future program or an under 23 or a city training, it's just you're automatically put into something that's going to challenge you. It's really good for those players who are used to being the best at their level to come in and be surrounded by that, and then be challenged by, the guys that are maybe a couple of years older that have, played at a higher level or have some experience, because they're not too far removed from their shoes, coming right out of high school and being one of the best.
Mm-hmm. So while I have you, I'm definitely going to ask you a few quick ones here. You've been with us since day one. What do you think about how things have grown into? I mean, we've made quite a few strides since 2010.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's improved every year, and whether that's just the front staff, the coaching staff, or just the talent that goes on the field, I think every year has been improving drastically, and I think that's what you want to have a stable program at this level.
So, what's your favorite story of city folklore over the past 5 years, or what's your favorite memory?
Yeah, tell us a legend of Minneapolis City in your own words.
I don't know. I think like every competitor, winning back-to-back trophies. And I think, the first time we won it going undefeated is kind of second to none, because we do play in a really tough conference where there's a ton of competition. And, when you play 14 or 16 games, it's really easy to, click off or not be there or have injuries or, whatever kind of excuse you want to have and take a loss. But to win the conference and do it undefeated, just that whole season was special.
All right. Well, I thought you were going to maybe like go under the covers here and talk about some craziness, but
under the covers.
I would, but then Jonah and Hoof would be upset with me.
All right. So I'll ask my last one before we get into the fun stuff here, or the more fun stuff, I guess you could say. So when you end up one day, hoisting up a little elder in the family into the air, what are you going to tell him or her about Minneapolis City?
Hopefully, the goal is to, bring them out to a city game and point to that team and say, hey, I was there at ground zero, the first season I was a part of it, and our first conference trophy, I was a part of it, and hopefully by then we've got a national trophy and I can be a part of it, and just point at it and have them experience it and be able to let them know I was one of the guys that was there when it all started.
Well, and then if you have a son, hopefully he breaks all your records.
That's right.
Future,
yeah,
John.
a future. It's like Inception.
Yeah, sure. I've got a deposit down and he signed up. I just don't know when yet.
Yeah, it's part of the scholarship fund.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Matt, you've been on the show a couple times, and we always like to play games. We love to play games. And we've done a few, but we've got a new one for you that I don't think you've played yet.
Okay.
And for this one, John's a little afraid because he thinks you could be the first one to stump
You could
him.
be the one.
Yep. We call this game Ask John Anything. So the way this goes is you can ask him 2 questions about literally anything.
Oh no.
Could be soccer related, it could be which of his kids he loves the most, anything. And the only way John can escape alive is if he answers them both truthfully. If he answers them both, the game is over. But if you stump him, if you make him plead the fifth on any of the questions, he has to answer your next one truthfully.
So essentially, I have to answer 2 questions.
2 questions fully truthfully,
and you can get
given.
Can get up to 3 shots potentially if you stump me.
Yeah.
So,
and he can't. He never lies.
I'm a little worried. However, as Nate knows, I have been put to the test. So
yeah, I don't know, man, how you're just living you life open. You're an open book. The cockroach never lies and doesn't have anything to hide.
Exactly. So the floor is yours, Mr. Elder.
All right. All right, Biz, ready for the first one?
I can just see your face, dude.
The couple times you've had to sub in and play in the Sevens League,
yes.
Do you feel like you have the ability to fit in with the talent?
Okay. Do you think, is this your hard question or is this just your starter?
I feel like a plead the fifth is coming.
No, absolutely not. So, the short answer is I don't feel that I can fully compete at this level. There's a couple caveats though. One, I have never been a 7-a-side player. I'm a true number 6. I like to just sit in front of the back line, orchestrate, make passes. There's not really that role for someone like me in the 6s because my game's predicated on understanding space and like I said, organizing. So when I've stepped in, it's so fast because everyone is like at least 15 years younger than me. So my thought process when I get the ball is I can hang for a certain period of time because if I can execute my first option, I'm successful. But if I have to go to number 2 or number 3 in my thought process, I'm screwed. Like the first time I played, like I'll just throw him under the bus. Justin Oliver was doing fuck all and not getting open, and I took a second touch because he didn't make a run. And Matt Gibbons smelled blood in the water and just skinned me live. And then they trotted down, and luckily Mitch made a good save. So in that aspect, I can't. But if you threw me out in 11s, I could play 45 minutes probably, no problem. Maybe make a few errors, but I would still be a contributor and not like the first guy subbed off at the half.
So that kind of, this is not my second question, but since you kind of led me to it, I feel like obligated to ask. If you were the coach and you came out as a trialist, would you find a spot on the city NPSL team for you?
Like, so this isn't your second question? So this is a
follow-up? No, this is, you pretty much said like you could do it. So I just want to hear you say it again.
We're clear.
Well, no, I want to know how far you're going to take this.
it's not the same question. It's different because look at the people who potentially would play my position. You have Ian. He's gonna obviously take my role. You have like some people like Franco Pertel. You have Shea Bottom. You have Stiggy can play a 6. You got Aiden O'Driscoll, Rory O'Driscoll. Like I could keep naming names. None of those guys am I taking minutes from at 39 years old. So if I
Okay.
came out to an open trial, you've seen our open trials. Like there's maybe 3 players that get moved on to the next part of the process, and that's pretty standard on an open trial. So I feel like I could get moved into the next phase because I would clearly know how to stand out in a trial. But to then go to the phase where I'm training full time with the team and trying to impress over the winter, probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. What's that?
Not going to make the 18 for game
No,
day.
I'm probably not even going to make like the top 26, to be completely fair. But if you threw me in when City started, I bet you I could have I could have made the team.
You probably would have started against Lacrosse.
Yeah, I mean that's still a start.
5 years ago, if you made the trip to Sioux Falls, you probably would have been playing Sioux Falls the last couple of years.
I mean, I did make the trip. Who do you think drove the fucking van?
Exactly. If you were needed, you could have kitted up. I think it would have been hilarious. All right, so there you go, Matt. That's your 1A and 1B.
Perfect.
This is where you really got to drop the hammer, or the
this
game's
is where
over.
you know that I love you to a point where I'm going to allow you to ask another question because I feel like the other one was another question.
Well, I'm going to give you a softball too because I don't want to. I mean, I know what it feels like to get put on the spot. And I don't like being there. So, all-time favorite City player over the first 5.5 seasons.
I mean, it's hard to really pick one, right? I mean,
well, you have to because I said favorite.
Okay. I mean, no disrespect to yourself. However, I have to go with Ian Smith because he's my number 6 buddy. Like he's the guy who plays my old position. I feel like we have the same type of style. We think about the game the same way. It's why he and I text each other pretty much all year round, 3-4 times a week talking about soccer. It's just in our DNA. And like when he came in as a 17-year-old in our first season, freshly turning 18 when the season actually got going after the trials, I kind of felt like a connection to him and even through like his progression into college, like helping him out with, the bumps in the road that he's come into and, helping him, understand his successes and his little wins along the way. And then ultimately as his post-college career, trying to help him find avenues to fulfill his dream to play beyond college and even in the weird COVID world, still trying to still, make phone calls, send emails, try to get trials for him elsewhere. But then ultimately having a spot for him to come back to. So yeah, he's my guy.
He's been a really fun guy to watch through the progression, right? Because he was, like you had said, I mean, year one, he was that high school kid where you were like, this guy can ball, but he needs to figure out how to put it together at this level to 5 years later. And, you can tell he's one of the best players on the field. And by the way, that's my teammate. We're going for a championship tomorrow.
See, that was me lobbing the softball back to you. See?
Yep.
I mean, but how can you also deny like watching Martin Brown Jr. play soccer?
Yeah,
he was silky.
Yeah, so it's hard to answer.
But that's funny, John, because you also said a couple weeks ago, maybe it was last week, that he's your most frustrating player to have ever had. In the organization.
I mean, if you do want me to go into this, I will.
No, I'm just saying. It's an interesting dichotomy there, right? Like you can always say, "God damn, he's so good," but then
I mentioned it.
From your insider perspective, you can say, "Oh man."
As a former teammate of his, Matt, you could probably agree with me on some of the frustration points because in certain times, like Martin was on another level that the players around him couldn't get to. So some of the runs weren't made properly, and he got caught in some tough spots because of it, which wasn't his fault. But then sometimes also not his fault. He's on that other plane. He's playing a pass that goes to a vacant area because someone wasn't thinking as high of a level as he was, and that can be frustrating if you're watching it, probably even playing in it. But then when it's clicking, you're like, dude, this guy can hit any level of soccer he wanted to.
Yeah, he was a special player. Even, the first time I played in the NPSL, even before City, was at Twin Stars, and he was a part of that team, and
so good.
It was pretty easy and that's 7 years ago. So take that off of, take 5 years off of when he was playing with us. Like, he was probably in his prime back then, and it was just crazy.
Yeah. But would you agree on some of the frustration pieces then? Like, it's not his fault, but it was just frustrating to see like how it could click, but then when it doesn't, you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, he was always a step ahead of everything, and the only person that could read it was Whitney, and that's because he could run 2 times faster than anybody else.
Right, exactly.
Well, Matt, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night to call in and let us chat with you again. It's been a good time, dude. It's good to talk to you again.
Appreciate you guys having me back.
Well,
good luck tomorrow in the final.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like everyone will be cheering for us as like the underdog. Everyone loves the underdog.
Yeah,
I think so. Like, Tackled by Turtles, the Cinderella story of the Minneapolis City Ben Wexler Brotherhood
For those
Cup.
of you who were listening to the show beforehand, we were actually doing something a little bit different where the consolation game will be played between the Dillionaires and the 99ers at 8:15, and then we'll have the featured match of the championship right after, and that's where we'll be crowning the champion. Word on the street is Mr. Wexler will be there in the flesh to hand out the trophy. So another little reason for you to up your game tomorrow, Matt, so you can get a little love from Wexler. And also the citizens have some awards that they've developed, and they've been talking to us about handing out to the guys as well. So it'll be a good time. So head on out, folks, and hopefully watch the Turtles pull off the impossible.
It's not impossible.
Is it?
All right, Matt.
Exactly.
Well, thanks again, dude. We'll see you tomorrow. Rest up. And thanks again, dude.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
So, yeah, man.
All right.
I think that's it. I think we're done. I think it's time for our patented Ken, John, or Nate finish the close of this show without fucking something up here. So it's my turn. But as
your
you know,
turn.
I'm doing Sober October, so I haven't been. What you would think?
Oh, it's going to be so much easier for you.
Sucking down Oktoberfest, but that is all for this week's show, folks. Thank you, as always, to our show sponsor, Summit Brewing Company. I do have a 12er in my fridge for when Sober October is finished, so you probably should as well. They're not around forever, and nothing beats some of these perfect fall nights. Tonight was a perfect night. I wish I could have sat on the porch and partake in a couple of Oktoberfest. But get to your store, your local store today, and fill up your fridge. Get some of that goodness. Summit, a more meaningful brew since 1986. If giving back to the community means a lot to you, maybe it's time to give to the club that gives back. Minneapolis City is a 501c that provides a safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game, as well as our newly formed Futures Program Scholarship Fund, which my donation of the fruits of my labor in Pick'em will be going towards. So consider a tax-deductible donation to a truly city-focused organization. Do you have anything you want us to cover? We're slowly going to creep into a dead period here, folks. So we want to keep the show going. I know the fun stuff is going to help us out. So the old fun stuff. You still can.
I should have called the show that.
What are you Googling on your computer there? Oh, just some fun stuff. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
See, we can't get through it. We cannot get through it. So
I met this girl, but she says she's only into fun
Those are the
stuff.
ones you want to marry, Nate. So do you have anything you want us to cover as we get into this outside of fun stuff? Any quests you want us to go on? Any guests you want us to have? Send us mail. It's real easy. Or you can hit us up on Twitter at The People's Pitch or through email, mcscpodcast@gmail.com. If calling is more your speed, we newsflash, hot off the presses here. Our phone number has lapsed, so I have to so we haven't used it, so I have to kick that back into gear again. So I'm not going to drop the phone number in here because we might have a new one soon. So yeah, Daddy didn't pay the bills.
Daddy forgot to pay the bills.
No one used the damn thing. So anyways, but all questions, comments, and concerns are welcome.
Yep.
Definitely hit us up so we can dive into some shows here. We've been asking the Pick'em players over the course of a few weeks to provide us, some topics they want us to cover, some people they want us to interview. So we'll dip into that, but we're always welcome to hear what you guys want us to cover. And finally, you can complain to the club at MPLS City SC on Twitter. And remember, head over to twitch.tv/MPLS City SC. Definitely check out Twitter so you find out what time that is. But let's just conservatively say 8:00 Central Standard on Thursday, October 8th. and follow and subscribe, folks. The new show, Fut City or Fut Stuff, it starts this Thursday.
Yeah, you'll get a notification if you do that, so you'll know.
Follow,
exactly
hammer
when
that
to tune
subscribe button. And that does it for this week, folks. Definitely ended on a high note here. I'm John. That was Matt Elder. And, of course, that was Nate. We will be back next week with the results of not only the Pick'em, which I think we know how that's going to go. We'll cover the awards. We'll also talk about the results of the final 7v7 game between Tackled by Turtles and Morris Day and the One-Timers. Get your picks in, and you got hoofed.
Poster burning maple weeds, cradle major keys. Thinking back, I've been major since the minor league. So supreme, too much sauce off my olive NMDs. I could staple steez, bend the goat so I get the cheese. Never fall, rake them leaves and make sure every moment gets seized. And everything I see is